Hello guys and gals. This is a video that is basically like a voting. More specifically, I want all of you guys to vote on two ideas for the story of what if Deku was in Azure Lane. The current ideas that I have right now are completely different. Sort of. Basically, here's you're going to vote on either story A or story B. So just comment down below and then, go. Okay? Good. Now, let's let me explain it first, story A, where basically Izuku commits suicide, just not really just like in canon, but more like, if the canon were to Izuku is basically so depressed to the point that he decides to just take Bakugo's advice. Not that what if. But either way, after committing suicide, he would be met by Moi, aka Jack, aka, the new, god of the universe, or the multiverse at this point. So, after meeting him, he would be told that he's going to be gaining power, but at a different way, to say the least. So, after, being reincarnated, sort of, he would be reincarnated in this sort of like test tube, where, basically, the original body for that thing, as in the ship girl, or in this case ship boy, would basically be turned into a ship boy. Yeah, where it would basically gain, boyish type features, including a schlong. Yeah. Oh boy! Let's just say it's gonna be chaotic. And after doing so, a few years have gone by where he was basically stuck in that test tube for like thousands upon thousands of millennia. And then, actually not really thousands and thousands of millennia, I'm still pretty much new to Azure Lane. I mean, I'm still pretty much downloading the game, on my, on my tablet right there, but either way, I'm still pretty much new to the, to Azure Lane, so please be gentle with me. So, maybe when the story starts, maybe, where he basically finally breaks out, slash, finally awakens. After doing so, he would basically have this specific ability. So, this ability is basically, you know how Monoma basically, copies quirks? Well, imagine that, but he's able to, copy the abilities of other, ships. And it doesn't matter if they're from a different faction. Like, for example, if he were to, take the, iron blood, parts, mixing it with, or, adding some, aspects from, Eagle Union. Or at least I think that's the name of that faction. I can't remember. Or, I'm still pretty much new, remember? But still, either way, just imagine something of that sort. He can even, combine, different types of ships. Like, for example, let's just say, a light cruiser mixed with, what is that called? A aircraft carrier? I think it was called. Let me just check. I meant, aircraft carriers, I meant. And there's also another ability of his, where he's able to combine aspects of, of a certain, group. Like, for example, combining iron blood parts, again, and mixing it with, the parts of, of Sakura Empire. Yeah, that definitely sounds overpowered as hell, and for that, that is basically, story A. And for story B, well, it's basically easy. Imagine, Izuku basically just, in the same situation where he basically commits suicide. But this time, instead, Jack would basically give him the powers of a modern day, ship, or a future ship, or maybe even a ship from my world, or in this case, the world that Jack originally came from. Which would probably be something of a mix between, the Flying Dutchman. Actually, basically, it's just mythological ship upon mythological ship. No, not ship, as in, relationship, as in, an actual, battleship or something. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go for that route, but either way, where he would basically have the ability to be, or maybe even become a commander himself. So yeah, where he basically gets teleported on a nearby, island, and would basically live out his life there. For about, during, the war between, the ship girls, as in, Azure Lane, and also the Sirens. Or at least I think that's the name of the enemy, but either way, he would basically be on that island, not even being noticed. And by the way, he's still pretty much a ship boy, but he looks and looks like a girl. So basically, he's a trap. So yeah, let's just say everybody's going to be confused after seeing his lower regions, to say the least. So yeah, so where he would finally meet the other ship girls, but either way, that's basically like story 2. And if you're wondering, so which faction is going to going to encounter him, and who's going to be joining who? Well, it's all of your deciding vote or something of that sort. So, well, you can just do a vote in comments right next to your voting for which story which story you want to pick for for Izuku, but anything you can pick any faction to what is that called, the Eagle Union to the Eagle Union to the Royal Navy to Iron Blood, or for another example, Sakura Empire. It's just your choice, okay? If you can, I could definitely want to go for Iron Blood, because seriously, they're fucking badass. Seriously, the whole how do I say this? The whole idea where they basically have metal sharks, basically acting as they're I think they're called rudders. I think I'm still pretty much new. Remember, I'm still pretty much new, so don't try to bash me on the comments. But either way. But I could also definitely see him being a part of I think it was called it's basically the Russian faction. Let me just check the actual name of it. Yeah, Northern Parliament. Or at least, I meant Northern Parliament, So, yeah, so, anyway, this is basically the end of this video. So, yeah, so just comment down below either story A or story B. And if you want, also comment down below which faction he should choose for each of the stories. So, yeah, so, bye-bye, lads and lasses.